Welcome everybody to episode 2 of Tried and Tested with me, Scott Triggs, and my partner in crime, the lovely Gemma Henderson from PMU Play. Gem, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. And what have you got for us for today, Gem?
So today I want to look at the Zion and the Bella, two really popular machines. I think a lot of top artists use both of them, and I want to look at why people love them and what is right for the right person. Do you know that they're so different? I want to have a look into that, definitely.
Yeah, interesting now when we actually put them together on latex to see what we come up with. I've got mine here, thank you very much. I'm very excited, yeah, and what we'll do is we'll go away. I think it might be interesting because you've got a super light hand, Jen, and I tattoo like a sailor. So I think it will be interesting for us to do a couple of ombre brows with each machine, and maybe pixel hair strokes, feathered effects strokes, and I don't do a lot of classic hair strokes, but I do some combination brows. So maybe a combination, just to see how they compare. Jem, how much difference is there in the retail price of them?
So the Bella is the most expensive one, so that retails at about 1,200, depending on where you get it, about 1,200, and then the Zion is approximately 600. And I think that's the biggest thing that gets people. Why is the Bella so much more expensive? Do you know, why do people want to buy that Bella versus the Zion? And I think that's what a lot of people at the moment always come and ask me, what's better, Bella or Zion?
Right.
So
is there an answer to that? Is there an answer to why it's more expensive?
No, I haven't yet found that answer in terms of, I've asked them, but they've not come back to me. So I'm hoping to get some more input as to why it is such an expensive machine. What is in it that makes it?
Okay. Jem, who's the Bella manufactured by?
Microboo. So.
Okay, and the Zion?
Both the same.
Ah, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Okay, so they're by the same manufacturer, and the Bella is almost twice the price. Okay.
Why?
Okay, very interesting. Okay, and what about from you, Jen, from PMU Play? What's the weekly rental for both machines?
So the Zion is £50 for a week, and then the Bella is £60 for a week. So small price difference, but it's reflective in the price.
Yeah, obviously of the machine. Okay, cool. Okay, well, I am very much looking forward to going away and playing with these little puppies. So we'll give it some worry, and then we'll reconvene and we'll discuss our findings. Okay? Okay.
Perfect.
You too. So I'm just going to roughly draw a couple of sets of brows with pencil my latex. It's a good idea to, I use washing up liquid and grapeseed oil to clean my latex while I'm working. And I always give it a little wipe first because it makes the pencil even easier to wipe off. So just a quick rough drawing, and I'm going to ombre a couple. 4 should be fine. No prizes for any of those. Okay, so we're going to start with the Zion, and I'm using 1RL set at 5 volts. And I always put a mat on a mat, because then you don't get that horrible hard bounce. And this machine the hit is super gentle. So this is actually on the soft setting, as soft as it'll get. Okay, now I'm going to put the setting back to hard. You do that by taking the barrel, unscrewing the barrel off, and you can see right there, if I focus that for you, you can see H and S. Hard is in one direction, soft is the other. There are 12 clicks, and
you click to the end and then just one little click back. That's now on hard. So I'm going to use the hard setting to do some hair strokes in the next brow drawing. And we will test the Belar. So the Belar, here it is. Very, very similar weight. Similar weight to the Xion. There's not a lot in it, to be honest. Obviously, it's a much slimmer device, so it doesn't feel quite as bulky, but the weight is good. Very, very similar to the MT2 machines and that sort of pen formation. So, you know, it's like holding it's that familiar feeling of holding a pen. When I do a double stroke, sort of back and forward, working in a loop, then it's slightly harder, which you can see when I clean up. You can see the odd darker hit. It's actually more comparable with the Xion on the hard setting. So if I drop this down a bit, let's say 4, and do a little bit of soft pixeling. Wow, so there's barely anything there. I'll etch some hair strokes in. Top 3, Xion. Xion on hard, Xion on soft. There's a difference, definitely. And hair strokes and pixel strokes with Xion on both hard and soft. Belar, 2 passes, which kind of is almost as strong as the Xion on hard, I think. And pixel hair strokes and classic hair strokes with the Belar, which I actually find more responsive for hair strokes than the Xion, but there's not an awful lot in it. As far as the actual machines are concerned, of course, they weigh pretty much the same. Obviously, there's a discrepancy in size. This is thicker, but it's not a disadvantage. I have, you know, not the biggest hands for a guy, but I do have bigger hands than most of my female mates in the industry. So I don't find it too much of a challenge, and like I said, I do like the weight. They both take the same cartridges, and they both work well at very, very low and very, very high voltage. So there you go, the Bella and the Xion.
Here we are for our show and tell, the show and tell section of Tried and Tested. And you and I haven't spoken, so this is going to be very, very interesting. And I want you to tell me what you thought of the comparisons first before we start.
Do you know what? It's just such a hard comparison. The Bella and the Xion is a hard one to decide which one you love most. And that is, I know that not the answer maybe people are asking for. However, I like the Xion for ombres and I like the Bella for hair strokes. And I think if I had to have one predominantly in my clinic, because of what I do mostly, and I do mostly hair strokes and pixelated hair strokes, I would buy the Bella. So
I have to tell you, I'm absolutely 100% with you on it. I love the Xion. I saw a post a while ago from, I can't remember who it was, who said that the Xion's hard and soft options were a gimmick. They're not. They really are.
they're not.
I did 2 brows, one on the hard setting and one on the soft setting, and I'll show you that I did 2 passes on 2 brows. They are different. They are different.
Yeah.
But I have to say, exactly like you, if I had to choose and I could only have one, I'd have the Bella.
And I think that for me personally, it's the weight of this one. It's the weight of the Xion in my hand. Something just doesn't flow. As soon as I start to do a hair stroke, I just feel like the weight is not evenly, I don't know, something about the weight, it doesn't lend itself to a hair stroke.
Well, that's really interesting, because I think that the weight of the Xion lends itself better to shading.
100%. I love that pendulum. It gives you that nice, really nice rock to it, and it helps blend into that brow, 100%. As soon as you start a little frict with it, game over in my head. I can't do it. I just literally, and I think that's because I'm four hands, I'm light-handed, it's too weighty for me. So I think that's it.
Yeah, that's really interesting that we both, you know, and as artists, you know, you are much lighter than I am. I'm really heavy-handed, but I found that the Zion's weight lent itself, as you said, to the pendulum action. But then when it came to hair strokes, the slightly lighter and definitely smaller Bella was much more. It was much easier for me to sort of impress into the skin with accuracy.
Yeah, and give it that flow. Do you know when you're doing a hair stroke, you want to flow them all into the back of each other, and you want to be, I don't know, you're freer with it. I think you can freely just blend those strokes back into each other a lot nicer. And obviously then you can pull the machine down, get the needle in, and do the hair pixelation with it. But with the Zion, I just find that you just can't do that. Even though I changed the hit, I changed everything on it, it's the weight. It's not the mechanics inside, it's the weight of it, I think.
For you? Yeah.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. I agree with you. I actually pixel. When I first started pixelating, I would pixel at like 4 volts, 4.5 volts, right down low. I now pixel at around 8. Okay, 8 volts, yeah. And I did a pixelated brow with a Bella at 9, just to see what it was like. And the pixels, Jen, the pixels are tiny.
Yes.
The faster you work, the smaller your pixels are. But you've got to have quite a quick hand movement, otherwise you end up with lines on your work. So you have got to think about it a little bit. But I have to say, I am with you on that. It was a really hard call for me. I like both the machines, but if I was stuck and I could only choose one, it would have to be the Bella for me, even though it's more expensive. And I know that's a consideration.
Yeah.
I like the Bella, I really do. Yeah.
And I think if you're someone in where you are, and if you predominantly just do ombre, maybe the Zion is for you. Do you know, like maybe that is the right thing to pick up and have. However, if you've got over 50% of your clients that are hair strokes, the Bella are all the way.
Yes, yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. As far as you know, they take exactly the same. They have the same cartridge fitting. They take exactly the same needles. There's no other advantage really over and above the cost, the retail cost, and the one thing that always pulled me to the Zion was the adjustable hit. But in actual fact, I don't know, even though it is obvious when you turn it, you can see the difference when you take it to soft and take it back to hard, there is. Would you stop in the middle of a procedure? I do a lot of combination brows, Jen.
100%, yeah. Would you unpack, because it's not, you can't just do it, you have to unpack it, unwrap it, change it, put your gloves back. It's something you wouldn't automatically, unless you knew exactly what you wanted to do that day and you had the time frame, you're not going to do it in the real world. You're not going to keep changing that hit every 10 minutes because you might want to go up and then back down again and then up again.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you know, in your mind, what I'd said to myself was, well, what I'll do now is I'll put all my hair strokes, you know, my tight hair strokes, my classic hair strokes in first, and then I'll go back and I'll do my feather hair strokes in between. It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't. Yeah.
No, that's too restrictive. And the last time I spoke to Layla, we did a spill of tea together, and she was telling me that the Valhalla, you can actually alter that while you're working. Well, that's got to be our next one. That's
exactly
the next one.
Yeah, that is
game
changer.
Really?
I think so. I think it is, and I think the only thing that the Valhalla again is the weight of it, because it's a slight weight difference, but it's still bulky. It's still a little bit bulkier than. I think if your hand lends yourself to that nice thin handpiece, like the Bella. And I think it depends where you first started with your career, isn't it? Like I started with Nuvo, so the handpiece I got was a nice thin handpiece. So I lend myself to that. When I get that back in my hands, it feels natural. Yes. Do you know? So that's again where you come from, what you want in your hand motions as well.
Okay, Jen. So tell me, can we do the Valhalla next? But what with? What should we compare the Valhalla with?
do we go back and go either to the Zion and do Zion versus Valhalla? And because I think that is what the people are asking. Do you know, like, is it, because they're the same price point, they've got the hip thing inside them, do you know, one's on the outside, one on the inside. I think that's what people are looking for. So whether we go back and now, like you said, when you're working with one straight after each other on a mat, see the difference. So,
I think it's a brilliant idea. So can I keep this for another week? And if you could send me over a Valhalla, and hopefully we'll get something out in a week. Is that okay?
Perfect.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So at the end of the episode, the verdict is difficult choice to make.
Yeah.
Very difficult choice to make. But your choice?
The Bella. It is the Bella.
Yeah. And for me, I have to say 100%. It is close, but for me, the Bella has the edge.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Definitely.
Jen, thank you so much. It's lovely to see you.
And you.
I'm going to. All right, my darling. Thanks ever so much. You take care.